Hey YouTube, and welcome to becoming a front-end developer from zero, day one. And today I just came home from work, so I'm a bit tired, but you guys know we gotta be consistent. We gotta do this every day. I'm gonna. So I was thinking like we're gonna start slow, and we're gonna start to just like I'm gonna use HTML, CSS, and I'm gonna be creating some UIs for now, right? And we're gonna do different things, right? I'm gonna create some UIs. I'm gonna learn JavaScript, React, all these things. So yeah, let's go ahead. And there's, as you guys can see, there's so many like UI projects here, which is so amazing. But I think we're just gonna start with the simple things. We're gonna start with the current UI challenge, which is this one. So let's start the challenge, and you can even solve it like here. So we can download the PNG file. We can also use the Figma. So obviously we have the pro version, so we're gonna get the Figma. And the reason I want to use Figma is because that's what they're gonna use our work as well, right? So yeah, let's see. I don't have Figma here. Can I? Let me see. Can I like drop that here? Let's see. Okay, there we go. So that's how it looks like. And by the way, guys, like when I'm gonna start, I'm going to do from what I remember, because right now I'm so rusty in HTML, CSS. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is all we got. So we don't have the mobile version, right? It's just giving us this, so we're gonna have to make it responsive ourselves. But as you guys can see, we have this. So what I'm thinking, like, yeah, this is gonna be a section, right? And we also have this gradient background, linear. So I don't really know how I'm gonna make that yet, but we're gonna use the documentation to see how we can do that. And yeah, we have the SVGs. I don't know if we get. Do we get the SVG? No, we don't get resources. Yeah, but we can get the this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open my Visual Studio Code. And also, guys, the idea that I have, right? Because if you go to my GitHub right now, I'm thinking of like, instead of having like one repo for each UI challenge, I'm going to create a I'm going to create one repo that contains all my challenges in there, right? So I don't have to make a lot of repos, right? So that's why I named it Web Dev Daily, because it's going to contain all of my UI challenges. And I don't know what's going on here. I can't even open VS Code. Don't know what happened. I think I messed something up. So yeah, let's try to uninstall. I don't know what happened here. So let's go to apps and visual. Yeah, I have to reinstall it. And that means I have to install all the plugins that I had. Great. So this is such a great start of the video, guys, huh? But yeah, you can skip if you want. I just gotta do this. And yeah, let's go here. Visual Studio Code. For Windows. We gotta have ourselves that, you know. And we can also use Atom, actually. Let me see. Because I actually, but yeah, I gotta have this anyway. I think I have Atom. Live preview. Live. Yeah. Alright, let's just use I love Atom, man. I just loved it. That's what I start with first. But we're gonna use Visual Studio Code. If it wants to launch, there we go. All right, so we have lost absolutely everything. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, let's just install that. Oh, I do have my plugins in. Okay. All right. So this is it, guys. Right. So this is my README. So we're gonna create. This is the folder we're in, right? So it's gonna contain all of our challenges. So in here, we're gonna create another folder, and that's gonna be for our first challenge, right? So this is the name. So I'm just gonna go here, and I'm gonna say get in touch UI challenge, something like that, right? I don't know, probably a horrible naming. And in here we're gonna have an index.html, and we're gonna have the emmet. Gonna load that. Get in touch. So when I start, I usually like to get the basics in first, right? So let's see. We have the head. We're gonna add a link. Style.css. Style.css. Oh, I don't like the name of this. So get in touch challenge. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it simple like that. Okay, guys. So this is the file. So usually what I do is that we want to create a folder that's gonna contain the images, right? So we can say assets, and we go to Figma, and we're just gonna click this, and because we can export it, if I click the vector SVG, You can also preview it. So this is what we're gonna get. Oh, we have to unzip that one. So we are gonna extract, I mean. Oh, we got our vector, yay. Okay. So here we have that one, and then we need, I assume that's a vector as well. Export. So always preview, so good. So SVGs, and we want to cancel. We want them, yeah, those are like images, I guess. So let's just do that. So we're gonna extract this. Poor naming, so we're just gonna say 212. And we gotta go to folder. Here we have these. Oh yeah, we are already here, sorry. Okay. So yeah, we have our images. Okay. And now we're gonna get the colors, right? So we're gonna start. So this is what I do, guys. I think it's root. This has been a long time. So this is probably wrong. Let me see. I'm gonna look into documentation later. I just gotta do what I think. But yeah, this is like CSS variables, right? And we use it because it's easier to, like, let's say that you have the same color. Instead of writing the color on different parts of the website, you can have colors. And let's say that you make a design and you add colors, right? Special colors. You can later change that. So that's what we're doing. So for example, here you guys can see we have green. So instead of writing green to that, giving the green color to that specific button, you can have a variable. So instead of going to that button, you can just go to the variable and you can change the color there. When you change the color there, it's going to be changed, and reflected to any selector that has that variable. I don't know if that made sense, but you get the idea. So let's get the colors. I'm just gonna put this here. So I'm gonna say main colors, something like that. So this is like, yeah, I'm tripping, guys. Let me think. How are we gonna do this? So main. So this is the main background color. It's like a dark gray. And then we have the paragraph color, which is A6. It's kind of like a gray color. Paragraph color. Yeah, we have a white, use that, and then we have this color here. This is gonna be the form color. So we're gonna write form color, form G color. Also, the naming convention, I don't know if it's the correct one. Well, I don't know if I'm doing it right. It's just a habit I have from JavaScript in camel case. But it actually starts with a lower, yeah, okay. And then we have this color here, which is, just make sure it's the same. Like a greenish color. So I guess that's the main theme color. So let's say main theme color. Like that. And now we have the font. So what font is this design using? Can we see that? So it says Inter, right? So it's only the weight that is different. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go to Google Font and we're gonna download Inter that has like a variable, right? So you can change the. So we're gonna go to Google Fonts and Inter. There we go. Get the font. And I think like, okay, there are different ways of importing it. And I think the recommended way is to import it through CSS. Because if you import it through that, it's going to load, like the browser has to make a additional request. I don't remember if it wasn't for CSS or if it was from HTML. Yeah, let's just import it through CSS. So if I click import, or a link. Okay, you know what? We're gonna use a link for now because I'm not sure. Yeah, let's just use link for now. So all that code just to import a font. Great. So yeah, we're gonna go here and we're gonna say this is a comment. So we're gonna say the colors, and we're gonna say here the font and font family. Yeah, sorry. Oh, it's been a while since I did this, so I'm a bit rusty. Kind of like thinking and stuff. But Inter, right? But we need to have like an alternative because if Inter doesn't load, we need to have like sans serif, something like that. So yeah. Let's see. Okay. Okay, guys. So now, also like when we do this, let's test the actual live server. So we have something on the. I mean, we don't have anything on the site. But I'm gonna test this. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, my eyes. God. Okay. So what I'm thinking of doing, because usually like when you start a project as a front-end developer, it's recommended to start from mobile first, right? You have something called mobile first, which is to start from, like you start designing it from the mobile view and then you expand it from tablet to desktop, because that way it makes it easier for, like it's easier to develop from the smallest and expand than to design from big and then trying to cramp everything down into small, right? Even though it feels more intuitive to start from desktop because it's just easier, right? You have everything big, But when you start from mobile, it's hard. And now we haven't been provided with one mobile, but I imagine that this is gonna be because this is like flex, right? This is like a section. So this is gonna be on the top, this is gonna be in the middle, and this is gonna be at the bottom, right? I think we're just gonna do it like that. It's kind of self-explanatory. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna have one because I'm thinking like, okay, are we gonna have like a section here? We have a div, and then we have a content inside the div that's centered. I think that's what makes sense. And we're gonna figure out the background later. What we're gonna do though is that we can start with the CSS reset. So usually I do this for after. Oops, I forgot the asterisk. So box sizing, border box, padding 0, margin 0. So this is gonna remove the default styling on the page, right? We're using like pseudo class or element, I don't remember. But yeah, that's to target those as well. So we have the reset done everywhere. Okay, so now we are going to, we can also do images. So here we wanted to display block, and we want the max width to, this is gonna ensure that the images are like loaded correctly, like that. So now we're gonna start the main. Oh, okay, I'm a bit tired, guys. Yeah. So main styling. So we're gonna start breaking it down. So I'm gonna go here. So we're gonna say also, yeah, we, as you guys can see, this is centered, right? So the background here is the body, and the body has a div centered. So we need to basically center a div. How do I center a div? Okay, but yeah, let's just call it the body, and then in the body we have a section, right? Or maybe an article. Let's just say section. It sounds more. So in the section is the entire thing, right? So we can just give it a class of not form background, but like, yeah, we can say form container. Container. So in here we're gonna have a div that's gonna have an h1. It's gonna have a p, and then we're gonna import the I don't know the, so group 212. Yeah, so we are in a folder. Yeah, it's the same. We need to get out one folder. Go to asset. Oh, assets. And I don't know the name of the quote mark. A quote. So quote SVG. A quote symbol. Alright guys, so you guys gotta give me one moment. I gotta go to the toilet. So one moment. Alright guys, we're back. So yeah, we have the quote symbol, and then we're gonna have another P, then we're gonna have this small signature. Yeah, and all I have to do now is just copy the text. I'm too lazy to like type, so let's just do that. What's this? And this. Yeah, since I'm doing this design, I shouldn't be doing it really, but we can just like target everything in that div that are there's a p it's gonna have, and small are gonna have like descendants of this div, right? So we're gonna call this form container info. So that's like the textual information, right? So yeah, I don't know, we're gonna put in main styling. So we're gonna do this and p small. Don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna do color paragraph color. How do let me think. No. Oh yeah. Parentheses. Forgot. Yeah, and then we're gonna have it seems to be the same. Yeah, same. So we're gonna have a div again to be able to control the images. Images of people. So we're gonna have m times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's see. I'm gonna do something, so I'm gonna do like this. Oh my god. Why do I keep making that mistake? Yeah guys, coming back to Frontend it's not easy, you know, because I haven't done this in a while. Like although I enjoy doing it, but I don't know. But either way, let's see. So now we're gonna do assets, and I guess we can just test with one image. If it works with one image, it works with all of them. So yeah, we're gonna have the image, and that's it. We're gonna have the other section, the other div, which is gonna contain the form. So say form, no action this time, and yeah, so we're gonna do just see the images. So that's a currency symbol. Get started. Is that also enter or what? Yeah, it's a medium though. Okay. Let's see. You have like, so we're gonna have like label. We're gonna have a div because we need to. We don't really need div, but we need like label for email. Email. Input. Type. And yeah, we just gotta call this form group. The reason we wanted to group this is because we want to have the email here and the input in here. Just like in the design. Whoops. Whoopsie. Okay. Like that. And we can say placeholder. Enter your email. This is basically copy paste, so we can do that. Let's see. Yeah, we shouldn't do that, but yeah, I'm like, what did I do? Wow. Kind of confused myself here. I'm confusing myself. Wait, we have a div. And yeah, that's a form. So we need to basically, oh yeah, that's what confused me. Yeah, the input is missing. What the? Oh, there we go. Okay. I was like, what's missing? Because I know something is missing, but this is actually outside of the label, which, I mean, I guess it's fine because it's in the div here. But I was just a bit concerned. I was like, where is this person at? I mean, the code, like, where is the code at? Let me see. Now that looks better. So we should probably wrap this up in a div as well. Like so, and change this to... No way, did I misspell that? The Unreal, man. So this is a text area because it's like, it's a different text. So here the placeholder is going to be what are you say? Okay, that's a bit weird, but okay. All right, we ain't sweating that. So yeah, we have the div, we have the blah blah blah, we have that. Now we need the submit button. submit. Yeah, and under the form we're gonna have, I mean it's within the form, right? All right, so let's look at how it looks like now on our page. Let's see. All right, guys, we're gonna take a little break here. So, all right, guys, I'm back. I had to take a break. Yeah, so taking breaks is something that I gotta do because, wow, it's a big difference. It makes such a big difference. Anyways, as you guys can see, we're getting, okay, this image is not loading, but we are getting every other, I guess it's a SVG. So yeah, we have the color coming in, so that's good. Let me just see why it's not loading. Why isn't it loading? Let's see. Oh, typo. So if I refresh, should update, right? There we go. Look at that. But it's gray, and we want it to be white. So let's close this view, and I don't know. That's not gonna work. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's actually gray. So what am I talking about? Okay, so now we have the HTML structure, as you guys can see. And now I have a typo here, as you guys can see too. Let's see. So yeah, that's wrong. So let's see, another. Just copy this down. So this is gonna be a message. Message. And we have the button. So yeah, I don't know why. Let me see. Text. I don't know why it's not live. Let's see. It's not being updated. So you guys can see we have that div leaking in. Oh, that's because we're not closing the text area. Obviously. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I gotta fix that later. Maybe it's the. Sorry about that. Let's see. Refresh. Okay. All right, guys. So we have the HTML down, and now we're gonna do the actual styling, right? Also, let's go and search for linear gradient CSS. So I don't want to get a generator. I want to learn this, right? So let's go to the MDN web docs. Here we go. So the linear gradient CSS function creates an image consisting of a progressive transition between two or more colors along a straight line. Its result is an object of the gradient data type, which is a special kind of image. So it's basically an image. It's creating an image. So you're using a function in CSS to obtain this gradient background, right? It's an image generated by a function called linear gradient. So let's just go with that. Let's go here, and let's go to the body. Linear gradient. Sorry. Of course, we have to specify the property, which is the background color. Linear gradient. And let's look in Figma. So here it's like 95%. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Because we have degrees here, right? And it's actually in background. It's not background color. It's background because it generates an image. So like that. So yeah, this is gonna give us red. So if you specify the degree blue, okay. So if I say 180, let me just test. Okay, 40% of its length. Okay, so 180 take, and we're gonna specify the color. %. And white. I'm just gonna be lazy like that. Okay. Okay, so not 90%, but okay. So maybe 5%. I don't know. Something like that. But it's more like, it's more fading. You know? I feel like it's too strong. Well, let's see. Let's put it in the middle. It looks kind of similar, right? You guys do you guys agree? Okay. So now we need to center this thing, right? Because now, if you look in Figma, the entire content is like, oh, it's like that. It's coming from here. So that would be a 45 degree. So let's we just get this weird like line. So I'm just gonna say 90 degree. I guess it's depending on like that. But yeah, this looks okay, I guess. So let's center. So the center we're gonna have, first of all, H display flex center. So this is gonna align things inside the body vertically, right? It's gonna center it vertically, and then we're gonna align it horizontally by using justify content center, like so. And I know this is confusing, so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna add the background color to the actual form container. So let's go to our HTML, and I'm just gonna create the look first, and then we're gonna go to mobile. I'm just gonna add the colors and stuff. So that will be the form container. So background color var main background color. Look at that. And does it have like a border radius? No, it doesn't have that. Okay, so we're gonna do mobile. So let me see. So mobile is just gonna be like I told you guys. So I just have to think. Yeah, so this is gonna be at the top, this is gonna be in the middle, and this is gonna be at the bottom, like that. So let's just start working with the text. But I feel like the text hasn't been applied. Let's test that theory. Oh yeah, of course. There we go. Look at that, guys. And we're gonna add some padding, right? We're gonna add some padding just so it looks good. So we're gonna do like padding, like oh, actually, we're gonna add padding to the black one because it's makes more sense. So yeah, we're gonna go. This is the mobile though, right? But there's padding in either way. So the padding here is like 130. That's the max width, right? It's 130 pixels. So I'm just gonna use pixels here. Padding. But can I say like max padding? No. Yeah, I just think like because it's gonna squeeze it, right? It's everything is squeezed. That looks a bit better. So let's just do like 1 rem. Or 2 rem, I don't know. 2 rem looks good. Okay, so now we're gonna do mobile. And screen and max width. I don't remember this. I'm just typing right now because I think I remember, but I don't know. So let's say max width like 48 pixels. Okay, that didn't work. This is width. No breakpoint, but responsive. Yeah, responsive design. Yeah, media screen. Okay. Oh my god. That was close though. Media screen and max. And yeah, I don't know. Here we can. Okay. And width. Okay, so we want the width. So we want this to take place when it is the width is less than 648. So let's see. So now it's above, and now it's below. Okay, looks good. All right. So obviously we're gonna center everything, right? So everything's gonna be centered. So let's just take the form container, and I'm gonna say mobile view. By the way, guys, I don't know if this is how real developers work, but this is what I do. This is how I work. So I'm gonna say, if I say color white, is that gonna work? Because I have the other ones. I know I shouldn't do it like that, but it's because I've targeted the other ones basically gray, so it should work in theory. And display flex, align item center. So the hair we can just okay. So here we can have display flex in the global, right? I'll say global styling, because this needs to have flex either way. And like that. And here we can change the, so because when you do CSS, you want to do something called you want to follow a principle called the dry principle, which is to do not repeat yourself, something like that. So I try to avoid repeating myself. So for example here, right, we are, because in both mobile, tablet, and desktop view, it's gonna be flex, right, because we need to rearrange the position of the content. So mobile view, it's gonna be display flex, it's gonna be flex direction column, flex direction column, and we want to align things to center. Wait, not like that. Center. Like that. We can also do, yeah. So we have, I'm realizing something, like, what? Why is the image above image of people? Yeah, that should be, oh yeah, it's supposed to be like that. Okay. And this is gonna go under here. Okay, I thought that was a separate, never mind. So we got it right. But we need to do something with images here, right? So they need to be So let's target that. So images of people. We're gonna do flags. Okay. To yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, let's just use margin auto. Margin auto. So I mean, yeah, it's probably because of the see. It's too small in there, right? I think that's the issue. It's too big. So what if I use flex wrap? Flex wrap. There we go. And I want to like flex. Well, yeah, it's not gonna work. Oh, it's because I have margin auto, I guess. And so, yeah. So I mean, it's working, but we want it to be in the middle, right? So instead of doing this in the middle, we want the entire container because it's inside another container inside this. So we want this to be centered. So this is also going to be flex. So we can just put this in the global here. And I'm going to just say display flex. And align the center. Center. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to flex direction row, but no column, obviously. It's gonna be column either way, so we gotta put that. Okay, so now this big image got big. But yeah, we need to. I want to align stuff here. Can we do margin? No, it's not working. But I think it's because of this image here. So let's see what we can do. What we can do. I can target it different ways, but we could just give it a class of Wold SVG. And yeah, I'm like, I said this was gonna be an SVG, but I'm using it as an image. I don't know. I mean, that's probably not the best thing to do, but I will look at it later. So we're gonna say width to okay, so that worked a bit. Now we just need to center everything. I don't know if I can use a margin. There we go. The images are not, doesn't want to center. For some reason. Like they're floating to the okay, it works. So maybe it's the width that I had. So let me just refresh. But can I just do it here? Oh. Okay, so it worked here apparently. So I don't think we need to do something with it because it's kind of already whatever. Yeah, we're gonna have some gap, right? So here we can just do gap like 1 and width 1 rem, 1.5 rem. Now let's just keep it natural here. Alright, so right now I'm just gonna work on like the actual like the look out of it. So we have this, and now we're gonna work towards the other section. So that's gonna be the form section. This is gonna be the form info section. So I add comments for myself, right? Just so we know what we're doing. So yeah, the form, you can start with the targeting the background color. So the form here, you can say the form is in a div. So I'm just trying to think if it's necessary to put in a div. Don't really know. Anyway, because it's like, yeah, it's already like that. So let's say okay, we don't need we can do like, okay, form container. I already have form container, so we're just gonna call it form. Background color bar. There we go. Look at that, guys. Wow. And we're gonna create some spacing. So since we don't have the mobile spacing, we have to guess. So I'm just gonna take a random. So we can't do gap, but we can do margin. Right? We can do margin. So top, bottom, 2 rem, 0 rem. And that should be included in there. Why did I put it outside the form? Oh, that's why. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna manipulate that later. I think I'm just gonna, because it looks like this, right? So which is inside the form? What am I smoking, dude? Okay, so we were right. Let's just do this like that. Okay, so now we're in the form. So everything in the form needs to be display flex, flex direction column. We can actually just copy that and also use that here. Global styling, so form blah 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 blah. And we can remove this. No, actually remove just this. And we can remove this with those. And yeah, that we have ourselves a form. Now it doesn't look particularly good, but it is a form. You can do this, and you can like send a request. Yeah. So now we're gonna do something with the image, because this image is obviously big. It's very huge, and yeah. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna stop here because I have to go. And yeah, we're gonna start. I'm gonna finish this hopefully in the next video. But that's the thing too, guys. Like when I do these challenges, I could easily do this like desktop, right? But I want it to be responsive. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna save and just take our time with this. Try to do things as properly as possible, no matter how big or small the project is. So I'm gonna start by pushing these changes to GitHub. So I'm gonna add all these, and I'm gonna add them to like that, and we are gonna open the terminal. If I can find it, view terminal. And we're gonna say commit assets to asset to the project, and then we're gonna create this. Git push. So like that, guys, we have saved everything. We're gonna go to, I gotta add a new account, sign in with the browser, continue. Okay, so let's see if it's actually being pushed. Yay! There you guys can see. Okay. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I'm so glad I was able to do something, even though it was really hard because I worked at my job. But that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you in day 2. Peace.